It's all for you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End of discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Everyone has seen poverty, crime, and violence in his or her life, but growing up around it shapes you in a way like no other. I'm here to ask everyone for help, to support me in the efforts of helping others, so we can convert a 32-foot mobile home to a mobile barbershop. This will allow us to continue servicing the people in need all over the country. My name is Joshua Santiago. I'm a father, an Uber driver, barber, and founder of a nonprofit organization called EMPOWERINGCUTS, based out of North Philadelphia. Over the last 4 years, I have worked with over 50 organizations in over 20 different cities from coast to coast, and have provided over 7,500 free haircuts for individuals experiencing homelessness, military veterans, women, children, and families who are experiencing financial hardships.
Welcome to That Is Not a Now. I'm with the man that you saw in the video. This brother is an amazing brother. I am truly honored and privileged to have this brother on with me. He is the founder of a nonprofit organization called Empowering Cuts. Joshua Santiago, thank you for joining the Dad Is Not a Now YouTube podcast. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it again, man, for extending the hand, man. Seriously, I really appreciate you, bro. Seriously, man.
No, man, this is all love. 7,500 haircuts worldwide in the United States. Yes, where did you have the stamina and just the level of just grind to get that done? Talk about that, please.
Honestly, man, it's crazy because, like, for me, honestly, when I was in barber school, this is something that my barber instructor really installed in us. Like, his thing was, the class, y'all don't have experience cutting hair. So what we're going to do is we're going to attack these shelters and we're going to provide a free service to them. But y'all still going to be getting y'all practicing at the same time, So that's really where it all started from, honestly. And to this day, man, I just give so much credit to my barber instructor, because if it wasn't for him, honestly, I'll still be a knucklehead, running the streets crazy out here, man. So I really appreciate him, because me going to barber school really changed my life. It changed my life. It definitely did.
But let's talk about your early days, because you definitely had struggles. Talk about that a little bit. I know your mom had her struggles. Your father was he was the man that was holding it down, but he was having his struggles. But talk about that a little bit growing up.
Honestly, man, growing up, I always felt neglected. I felt neglected because, it was like my dad was there, but he wasn't there, because he was getting high, but he was a functional addict. So he can, uphold the job, but he would get high, and get drunk, stuff like that. And that was, priority to him, So as a kid, man, I always felt like my back was against the wall. And my brother was a role model to me, but my brother, he would run the streets and get money that way. And since he was my role model, that's the same thing that I did, And unfortunately, I ended up in juvenile detention centers. from the age of 13 all the way to 18. When I turned 18 and rolled over to the adult system until I turned about like 24, 25. And then that's when I enrolled into barber school. And literally that's what changed my life, honestly, because if it wasn't for that, like I just wouldn't really know where I'll be at today, honestly, you know. My relationship with my mom, honestly, I really never had a relationship with her. As I said in the video, like she'd been on drugs my whole life, prostituting, you know, homeless my whole life, stuff like that. So I really never had, you know, I'm so sorry. I never really had a relationship with her at all, you know. Not too long ago, it's crazy because not too long ago, I actually was able to get her inside of a recovery home. You know, we sat down, I actually interviewed her as well, just asked her a couple of questions. It's deep, bro. It's deep. I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna share that with you. I'm gonna share that with you. I interviewed her, asked her a couple of questions, and you know, right after that, we was able to place her inside of a treatment center. She did the 30 days, and then she got transferred back to Philadelphia. And as I say, here in Philly, is rough because the thing here is that you got recovery homes on this corner, and then right down the street, you got people that's dealing drugs. So it would never work, you know? So she got transferred back to Philly after doing 30 days clean. And when she got transferred back to Philly, that's when she left the program, you know? So to this day, she's like, you know, earlier, it's crazy. Earlier, she texted me, she was like, I don't want you to be mad at me. And I sit here and I said, I'm not mad at you because you tried, you know? And, you know, you did the 30 days outside of Philly. And we all know that coming back to Philly wasn't the best option. It just wasn't at all, you know? So I forgive her just as well as I forgive my dad, because now that I'm older, I understand addiction. You know, I understand it. I don't understand it in the perspective as an addict, because I only smoked one time in my life, never smoked after that. Drunk one time in my life, never drunk after that. So I don't understand it as an addict, but me working and doing this kind of work that I do now, I understand it and I forgive them, you know, like I forgive them, like, and I love them to pieces, like, you know, so.
But do you feel like the power of forgiveness takes the weight off of your shoulders because
Without a doubt.
that hatred and that frustration just goes away and you just
Yes.
love them regardless because you know nobody's perfect? So
Yes.
how did you learn that level of empathy? Because again, it's not something that is taught. You
Yeah.
have it or you don't have it. So
Yeah.
like just break down that level of empathy you have for your mom, your dad, even though they're going through their struggles, as well as just homeless people in general. Where did that come from, bro?
You know what's crazy is that I think for me, people see me that I provide free haircuts for the homeless. It's deeper than just a haircut. I'm conversing with these individuals and I'm having real life conversations with them. Whereas though not only are they giving me hugs when they get out the chair, but they're crying, you know? Right now, as we speak, I got this guy named Rob. Rob, I want to say about probably like 3 weeks ago, I was cutting hair. He was like, hey man, just wanted to let you know that I cut hair as well. And if you need my help, he was like, if you need my help, I could help you. So I'm like, yeah, I got extra clippers. We got to find a chair for you. You cut hair. He sat next to me. He was cutting hair the whole time, you know. Right after he got done cutting hair, me and him got done cutting hair. He was like, Josh, I just want to let you know that I'm getting clean because I really love this and I want to be a part of this, you know. So to this day, I want to say 2 days after that, he went inside of recovery. He's in recovery to this day. I got off the phone with him last night and he said, bro, just wanted to let you know that I get out the 13th of April. And if you could pick me up, man, that'll be a blessing, you know? So it's just stuff like that. It's deeper than just a haircut, man. So like when I'm giving these people a haircut, I'm conversing with these individuals just about life, you know, and I'm telling them about my story and I'm telling them about the things that I went through with my mom and with my dad, and you know how it affected me growing up. And I just think that I just give them a little bit of motivation, you know, put a little fire behind their butt every time they sit in the chair, you know. That's what it. Besides them getting up and they looking all fresh and they looking real good, you know. So
I feel you, man. And that's the one thing about, being in that community. You know what I mean? I'm from Jersey, and the
okay,
barber shop is like the place. It's like it's like the therapist spot, even though you get the fresh cut, but that's a place where you become vulnerable.
Yes.
People don't understand the powerful of the barbershop in our communities. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
kind of, I know you talked about a little bit, but talk about that for yourself and just just as an individual working in a barbershop and how it impacts you, not just helping the homeless, but just like regular customers that come in. Talk
I
about
don't.
that, bro.
It's not to talk about because I never worked in a barbershop before.
Oh, okay.
So literally, bro, like what I mean, like, and honestly, I would never work in a barbershop. I sat down with a friend of mine not too long ago, and I don't want to get this misconstrued. Like, I don't knock the barbers that cut at barbershops. I love the industry in general, you know. Fresh out of barber school, fresh out of barber school, that's when I started, you know, cutting hair on the streets. And it was just that the whole time, you know. When I graduated barber school, my barber school ended up going bankrupt around that time. So I was able to graduate on time, and I put in for a forgiveness loan because they went bankrupt and they approved the forgiveness loan. So the $20,000 that I went to barber school for, I didn't have to pay it back. So I just felt like I could just pay that forward, you know? And ever since then, bro, honestly, it worked out for me because the thing here is that, as I told you, I've been a troubled kid listen, I've been getting into trouble since the age of 13, you know? So for me, honestly, I felt like I did so wrong that for me to turn my life around and just try to do something good for the first time in my life, it works. It's been working for me for the last 5 years, you know, and social media has played a big role in everything that I have going on right now. You know, when it comes to me fundraising and just having so many people that support me, and it's not that many followers that I have, but it's genuine individuals that really love what I do. And literally, I can make a post about something and people would jump for me because they just love what I do, you know? So,
And I'm a fan, but also talk about the mobilization of it, like moving,
yeah,
like moving to place to meet people, doing haircuts,
it's,
then actually having a place that people
yeah.
come to. So, like, kind of talk about the difference between the two.
Um,
The traveling aspect of it, like traveling. I know you're
yeah,
still trying to get it all set up and everything, but how does that make you feel just to just travel to
to
like
be able
different
to travel,
states,
yeah,
to travel and meet different people instead of
yeah,
being in this one spot
yeah.
and then people
It's
coming to you instead of you
yeah,
just going to the people.
yeah. It's a beautiful thing, man, because I never had the opportunity to travel until I started doing this. And I knew that when I started it, I, you know, was cutting hair in Philadelphia, and I just knew that the homeless population is way larger than just my hometown, you know? So when I took it on the road, I actually was able to witness that everywhere that I traveled, individuals were homeless for all different reasons. It just wasn't because of drug addiction. Here in Philadelphia in the Kensington section, a majority of the homeless population is because of drugs, and the majority of the homeless individuals are not from Philadelphia. They come to Philadelphia because we have a large train line, you know, and you got people pouring in from New Jersey, people pouring in from Delaware, Chester, just all these other places, because Kensington, that's where it's at. That's where everybody go. So just having the privilege to travel, and you know, me, Chicago, and I was just in LA not too long ago, and you know, being in LA, it opened my eyes and gave me a whole different perspective, because when I was in LA, it was families that was homeless out here. It was babies, it was kids. They got animals in cages. They got, you know, people that sleep in like trucks and RVs parked on the. It's just crazy, because it's like you got a lot of individuals that go to LA to, like, you know, make their dreams come true, and when it doesn't happen, they out in the streets. So you got individuals that used to be millionaires that's homeless out there right now, you know, and it's just sad, man. But me personally, I love the fact that I'm able to travel and touch so many lives, man, and just being able to connect with individuals on a whole nother aspect. It's crazy, right? Because I just created a TikTok account, I want to say 13 days ago, right? And
Right.
I've been sleeping on TikTok the whole time. I launched my TikTok account literally to up to date right now. I have probably close to 70,000 followers in 13 days. Over probably like 6-7 million views on there already in 13 days. It's insane. But the thing here is that one of the videos that I posted was when I was in Dallas, Texas. It was this guy that was laying down. I woke him up, gave him a fresh haircut. He went about his way. That video went viral on TikTok, and all of his family members end up reaching out to me. And basically, this is an individual that they didn't see in so long. I mean, his daughter mom, his brothers, his cousins, his aunts, everybody, the whole family reached out to me and basically asked me where can they find them. I really didn't know where it was at, but I was out there with my friends that's from Dallas, so I had to reach out to them. And you know, on the iPhones, if you take a picture at a location, you can map the location. So my friend sent me the location. I sent it to one of the brothers. The brother actually drove out to Dallas and was able to find his brother. And they picked him up. And right now, he's in Mississippi right now. They drove from Dallas to Mississippi, and he's with a other brother right now. But he's with the family again, you know? This is a guy that was battling schizophrenia. So it's not his homelessness it's not surrounded around drug addiction. It's a mental illness, you know, and stuff like that. So like, you know, listen, man. Listen, it's different, bro. And I literally in life, man, can't see myself ever doing anything else. Like I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, man.
Bro, you're changing lives, man, and it's an awesome thing. And especially like in this COVID world, how were you able to keep going? Because you know we were completely shut down for like months and months. So how were you able to just keep trucking?
Yeah, it didn't slow me down at all. The only time it did slow me down is when I contracted COVID. I did contract COVID once, and
what happened?
So it was during an event. A majority of the time I was taking my mask off, laughing with people, and you know how I interact with people all the time, shaking their hands. I don't wear gloves, and everybody always gets on me for me not wearing gloves. But I don't wear gloves because if I was in their shoes, honestly, like I wouldn't want nobody touching me gloves. You feel me? Like I don't want someone to look at me like, oh, he got gloves on because I'm dirty or this way. Like that's why I don't wear gloves. I totally understand that I have to for health purposes and stuff like that. But I'm just totally against gloves, man. So I just don't wear them. But yeah, I contracted COVID and it sucked because that's the only time that it slowed me down. It slowed me down for like 3 weeks. But right after that, I was back out there traveling and giving out free haircuts, you know. It didn't slow me down too much, man. But it was COVID. It did a lot though, you know. A lot of people passed from it, and it's just a sad thing, you know.
Right, but at the same time, with COVID, people are looking for something to believe in.
For
And
sure.
that's why I think a lot of people following your message, because you bring a sense of hope to a lot of people, you know. And then also you're changing the narrative when it comes to poverty and people in the hard times, because you know we live in a society where people that are in poverty are looked in a different light, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're telling their story by giving them a haircut, and it's a beautiful thing. And then also, you know, you're a father too, man. So talk about that.
It's
Being a father,
difficult.
you know, just talk about the
Yeah.
importance of you know, I know, you know, your child kind of see what you do a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Or
for sure, without a doubt, yes.
and so
So
how does that kind of impact your relationship?
the thing here, honestly, is difficult because I try to balance, you know, just try to balance it. But I consider myself a great father. Like all of my children want to be barbers and hairstylists and you know stuff like that. Like right now, I'm actually teaching my 5-year-old how to cut hair, you know, and he literally loves it. Literally, he burns me out about how much he talks about barbering. Seriously, it's just so draining. Like a kid watch cartoons on YouTube? No, he watched barber and stuff. Like he can name all of my clippers, and he knows he knows how to spell empowering cuts. He's only 5 years old, and I'm like, bro, you burn me out all day. But you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. Being a father is definitely a beautiful thing. So I don't know if you I don't know if you know any of this, but so I have 3 children from my second baby mom, and I have full custody of them 3 kids because my baby mom, she's on drugs. Her drug addiction stemmed from her messing with crack cocaine, and then her messing with heroin now. And when it comes to that, honestly, it sucks because like I have 3 kids that look for their mom and that misses their mom, but I feel like not that I come up with an excuse because it's like, hey, mommy is at work or mommy is this, because the last thing that I want, honestly, is for me to be like, mom this or mom that, and then she ends up, getting her stuff together and they're still viewing her a certain way, So me being a parent, I think it's like, I think I grow every day, I think I grow every day, but it's difficult. It's definitely difficult being a parent, but I love it, man. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I feel like I grind so hard because of my kids, every single time we drive by somebody that's homeless, they want me to give them money. And I'm like, that's cool, but come on, man. Like, like, and it's just because they see what I do in the community all the time. And, like, it's a beautiful thing, especially when you're a positive role model, in your children's lives. And, money honestly is just like, that's the last thing that we worry about. And, as in like, me trying to teach them that, money isn't everything, like me going out here and providing these free haircuts to individuals that can't afford it is because, like, if I was ever in this position, or if we were ever in this position, I want somebody to do the same thing for us. That's it, point blank, period. Like, because I know how important a haircut is to me as a man. I love a haircut. I got my hat on right now because I don't got a haircut, but I still have a barber. Like, people like, what? You got a barber? You can't cut your own hair? I'm like, I can, but I just love going to the actual barbershop and love the barbershop settings, So,
And then as a father, what does the word legacy mean to you?
mm, it listen, I think that's what my 5-year-old is working up to, man, because all he talks about is empowering cuts. So for sure, man, I think that, me being able to have at this point, I know when he gets older, we're gonna have multiple RVs, multiple mobile barbershops everywhere. And I think having him cut hair with me side by side is gonna be mind blowing, because at that point it's not gonna be about me no more. Everybody gonna be like, oh, it's a 5-year-old that's cutting hair for the homeless, so he's gonna take over on a whole nother level, So for sure, man, it's definitely important, and I feel like I'm setting the right example for sure for them. Like I definitely think I am, for sure.
And you are, man. You're setting that standard, and I love your diligency, because I remember you started your first GoFundMe page, and
Yeah,
it didn't work out to
for
where it's
sure.
at now, man.
Yeah.
So tell me how you feel now, because you're kind of close to it. You're almost at the.
No, we passed it already. We passed it
Oh,
because
talk about
right.
it.
Right. So real quick, so we launched our GoFundMe account back. So I purchased the RV in February of last year, and it was already gutted out, all of that. I only paid $2,000 for this RV, and the $2,000 came from previous donations that people donate. So I saved all of that up. The $2,000 went towards the RV, and it was extremely discouraging because I would have people come out, contractors come out that build houses from the ground up that didn't know what to do with it. I had people that was sitting here telling me, listen, you might as well get rid of that and let's just start over with a new one, So we launched the GoFundMe account. I want to say March, April. Yeah, probably March, April. Yeah, March, April of last year. And we landed up on a shade room right around that time. And we were able to raise about like $20,000 in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Right after that, we were nominated go we were nominated GoFundMe Hero of that month, and they email blast all of their donors. We were able to do like 25,000 in less than 10 hours, you know? So it was massive amount of money that we were actually raising. And even previous, and I'm sorry, I skipped this, even previous to us actually launching it, we knew that we wanted to launch it. So we were actually collecting cash donations. And it was just me driving to people's house and people just giving us money. And we were able to raise, I want to say like close to $5,000 in cash, like straight cash, like that people was just giving us. And right now our GoFundMe account, I want to say is at like, I want to say is definitely at like, I think it's like at $58,000. So we surpassed that. Or we definitely surpassed it, you know. We definitely surpassed that for sure, you know. But the mobile barbershop, just speaking a little bit about that real quick. It should be done within the next couple of days. Nice. And what I mean is beautiful, bro. Like I'll share it with you. You know, it's definitely beautiful. And I wish I could share it with your platform for real.
Let me know. We can make that happen.
No, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. We'll try to give you some exclusive content. You
I appreciate that, man. in this current environment, we need positive news. And that's what that is now is about. It's about changing the narrative for men of color and fatherhood, but just changing the narrative in general. And that's what you're doing, brother. You're changing the narrative when it comes to being, you know, living in North Philly, because, you know, Philly gets that stereotype, you know, and then homeless. So you're changing, you're doing your thing, man. But my last and final question, what would you, let's say you get a chance to meet your younger self, what would you tell your younger self going through what you went through as a child? What would you tell what would your adult self tell to your younger self?
Honestly, to be patient, to stay consistent, and definitely to stay grounded, you know, because when I was young, I didn't have patience. I didn't have patience at all, you know, and I was living this life that, once again, like my back was against the wall. So I had to make ends meet. So I was doing a lot of crazy stuff just to make ends meet. I'm glad that I'm still like, I'm glad that I'm still here, you know, I'm glad that I'm still here because I did a lot of crazy stuff. But I would definitely say them three things for sure, you know, because listen, I'm just glad that I'm still here, you know, for sure, man. For sure, man.
I'm glad you're still here, and I'm glad you're doing great work, because sometimes people that do great work are sometimes never acknowledged.
Yeah.
And, you know, and what you're doing, I know you're getting acknowledged here and there, but you're still under the radar.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Where can people find you? You want to promote the GoFundMe page, because I know it's still live, right?
Yeah. So basically, everybody can find me at Empowering Cuts. That's on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. You know, everything is at Empowering Cuts. Right now, we're actually working on a website. Our website should be done within the next week or two. And we'll definitely have like a donate feature on there as well. So, you know, as I said, we got approved for the 501c3 already. So we're taking all donations. If people want to donate lots of money, come on. Like, you know, we can make that happen. We can make the tax situation happen for you, you know? So I just appreciate you, bro. Seriously, man. Once again, thank you for having me on your platform. I appreciate it. And if you need me for anything, man, I'm here. Listen, let's set up an event. You in Jersey?
Let me know, man. I'll bring the dad. I'll bring the dad is not announced shirt.
I need one of them too. I need one of them too, man. Listen, let's make something happen, bro. An event, we can make something happen. I'll pull the mobile barbershop up. You know, it'll be done in the next couple of days, man. And just for the listeners that's listening to this, I just want to let everyone know that, you know, when we bust out this mobile barbershop, not only are we providing free haircuts, but we're also trying to partner up with treatment centers, you know, so we could get these individuals the help that they actually need, you know. So thank you again, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Thank
Seriously.
you, man. Much love, and we out. Peace.
Peace.